Our first story, Invasion of the Hydronoids, teams Aquaman with Batman and Robin. Oh, that can't be hostile. Look how it's smiling.
Attention, Hydronoids! Mission Command waiting for status report.
We have landed on Earth undetected, proceeding with Plan X to erase the minds of all Earthlings.
Then again, I could be mistaken. They head off to a nearby city to test their machine. If you're looking to invade, I can see wiping their minds. But do you have to turn them the same puke green that you are?
A strange greenish glow settled over Chateau City on the Gulf Coast. The people of the city are wandering around in a mindless state with green skin. The only clue is some seaweed found on the docks where the glow came from.
Seaweed? That means the trouble was caused by something from the ocean. My territory.
We'll join you, Aquaman.
Aquaman can tell where the seaweed came from, so while he heads there on his jet ski, Batman and Robin will follow in the Bat motorcraft. That's right, motorcraft, because only poor people call it a boat.
I'll dive down and search for the trouble, Batman.
Right, Aquaman. Whatever's down there could easily detect the Bat motograph.
Then again, poor people don't usually have a boat that can convert to a submarine that looks like Stromberg's underwater city in The Spy Who Loved Me.
Phase 1 complete.
Excellent! Soon the minds of all Earth beings will be erased.
And they will be unable to continue development of their space travel.
Only then will our marine planet and others in the universe be safe from the destructive Earthlings who have nearly emptied their own oceans of marine life.
That's as subtle as a punch in the nose.
Great Neptune. Batman, I've spotted a spacecraft. I'm going in for a closer look.
You realize that also means they've probably spotted you?
Batman, green beam. Getting dizzy.
I guess not. Batman and Robin head down to see what happened to him.
The Earthling's mind has been completely reprogrammed. He will do whatever I say. Others are approaching. They must be stopped.
I will stop the intruders.
They may not want to know, but when they go out in scuba gear and Aquaman sends a school of barracuda to attack them, the world's greatest detective can probably figure out what's going on, especially when they see that he's green.
Quick, Robin, our bat diverters.
Quick thinking, Batman.
Those propeller-driven inflatable dummies will give those fish a good swim.
The utility belt really does have everything. Does it have a degrenifier?
Now to continue neutralizing the minds of all Earth beings.
I hate to put a kink in your plans, but you're the only ones who are going to be neutralized.
Where's the other one? I suggest you watch your behinds because I have a feeling he's gonna bite you in them.
Quick, Robin, we've got to return Aquaman's mind.
It's a good thing Batman not only knew how to use the machine, he knew which machine to use.
They won't get away so easily.
The ship's taking off.
Holy galaxies, we'll be trapped in outer space.
My telepathic powers may be able to help.
Instantly, Aquaman commands the whales to charge toward the Hydronoid ship.
And they push it back down. Outstanding. The poor man's creature from the Black Lagoon can't figure out why they aren't moving.
Looks like you've been caught. Hook, line, and spaceship.
They make a deal. You can go home if you restore those people's minds.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
They've also learned that harming the people of Earth is as much a wrong as the people of Earth depleting their ocean.
No, they learned that harming the people of Earth makes them angry. And this is what they do when they're angry. So don't harm us. Go home.
Wholly unfair exchanges. I'd rather have my mind than a tuna sandwich any day.
I agree. Even Robin's mind is better than no mind at all.
Hi there, little dog. How are you?
Hold on there. You might get hurt.
I was just gonna pet him.
We weren't going to hurt him.
We know that, but he didn't. You might have scared him.
I didn't want to do that. How can I let him know we want to be friends?
Always hold your hand out to a dog so it's not higher than his head. Let him come to you and don't make any sudden moves. When he sniffed you and knows you're a friend, then you can pet him.
Most of the time. If you pet him once and he shies away, don't push it. Show him your hand again, but remember, he's in charge. And usually with a dog, no really does mean no. In keeping with this season's format, the next story features the Wonder Twins.
I can't wait to get to the beach, Jody. Here comes the bus.
Let's forget the bus. We'll hitchhike and save the fare for the jukebox.
No way. Hitchhiking spells trouble.
Oh, come on, Beth. You sound just like my parents. Besides, I'm always careful. I never accept rides from creeps.
Remember she said that.
Where you going?
The beach.
Hop in.
Now I want to see what her definition of a creep is.
You can let me off up ahead. Jody! Hey, that's where I wanted to get off.
Not today, you're not.
Since this is a Saturday morning kids show, we won't ask what he wants to do with her. Beth is right next to a payphone, so she makes a call. The Wonder Twins are playing tennis.
I tell you, with my new system, this tennis sure is a breeze.
Oh, Beth, Wonder Brother. But let's see how your backhand is.
Hey, watch it!
Looks like your new system is more of a hurricane than a breeze.
I usually refer to Gleek's tail as prehensile because I'm not sure there's an actual word for that.
The Teen Trouble Alert.
Wonder Twins, I need your help. My girlfriend Jody was hitchhiking and got picked up by a man in a dark green car. He wouldn't let her out and he's headed along the coast.
Time to change to an eagle and carry Zan in a bucket again.
Please, you've got to let me go.
Shut up!
The car's slowing. Now's my chance.
Hey, come back!
Why do they always say that? Does he expect her to skid to a halt, say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize," and come back? He starts chasing her.
Gleek spotted them. They're right below us.
He's catching up to her, Super Sis. We better put it into overdrive.
Stay away! Help!
Hey, you!
Let her go! The Wonder Twins. I'm getting out of here.
Oh, you'll do that, but not the way you think.
Shape of a camel.
Wait for me, Jaina. Form of an ice jail.
Not so fast, you hitchhiker snatcher.
Kidnapper is less of a tongue twister.
That's what I call going directly to jail.
Jody learned not to hitchhike. And remember what I said about finding a word for Gleek's tail? That seagull has a word for his tail, lunch. It's time for today's long cartoon, which means it's also decoder time.
What's the first clue?
The price of the hot air balloon rides.
They're not charging for the rides.
And that's the first clue. See you after a while with the second clue.
Free.
All right now.
No. No.
If I leave his heart.
Oh, God, please no.
Mid-City, USA. Peaceful, with none of its millions of citizens aware of the terrible fate being prepared for their great metropolis.
At last, Ragor, the perfect city on the perfect planet for our experiment.
Yes, Mongor.
Shouldn't you get some consent form signed first? With a name like Mongor, do we really expect something like that?
Gleek, it's not polite to laugh at your relatives.
It's no use denying it, Gleek. I wouldn't be surprised if they were your cousins.
His cousins from a different planet. Good trick. Suddenly, everybody's feeling strange.
Hey, what's happening?
That blue light. What is it? I feel funny, like I'm shrinking.
Jupiters, we are shrinking. The whole city's shrinking.
If this is reminding you of Brainiac and Candor, join the club. I did some digging to try and find out why DC plagiarized themselves, but didn't come up with any real answers. All I know to do is just go with it.
We have our guinea pigs. Now our work begins.
Who is that?
He must have done it. Shrunk the entire city. Put us all in a bottle.
Jupiters, I hope it's not the no deposit, no return kind.
The age of the returnable glass beer or soda bottle was coming to a close. When you bought one, you paid a 5-cent deposit on it. When you returned the empty bottle, you got your nickel back. Stop that! I don't really know why, but around the time this was made, the companies started moving to no return bottles, in other words, throwaways. That joke does kind of date this cartoon, but kids watching when it aired would have known and laughed.
Hurry, Ragor! In 24 hours, their shrunken state will become permanent. We must perform our experiments before that.
It's a good thing an hour is the same length on his planet as it is on ours.
Other than a routine UFO report, that's all the information we have about the disappearance of Mid-City.
Is there such a thing as a non-routine or unusual UFO report? The Super Friends will need a spacecraft. Wait, don't a couple of them have spaceships, or at least vehicles that can go into space? Not today. They'll have to borrow something from NASA. First stop, the tracking stations, so they know where this thing went.
Yes, we tracked this UFO from Mid-City and...
Computer fixes UFO heading directly for Planet X3.
Planet X3? That's 7 billion miles away.
And solid ice. Shivering icebergs. What'll we do now, Superman?
We get to Cape Canaveral and head for X3.
The gang at Canaveral don't have any rockets powerful enough to reach X3. They seem to think that's important.
Then we'll just have to make do with that one.
No, Superman, wait!
We can't wait. All aboard.
Ready to blast off, Superman?
Roger. Up, and away!
Hint, it's not important. All they need is the cabin with the oxygen.
Look, Mongor! An Earthling following us? But how could anyone... It's impossible!
Call him a transplanted Earthling. They can do stuff. For example, his X-ray vision can see Mid-City in that bottle, which means he needs to turn on the lights and siren and pull you over.
Reversing UFO's gyro rockets to halt descent.
Activate permafreeze ray at absolute zero. Not even this super being's molecules can move at that temperature.
It's some alien form of ice. I can't function.
It's up to Wonder Woman to get him out of this one.
Now for the old fire by friction bit.
demon radar ranges, Batman. She's defrosted him.
He did enough damage to Mongor's ship that they've had to make an emergency landing to see what's wrong.
Landing system is damaged. We're 1,000 miles short of home base.
Abandon saucer! We'll continue journey overland.
Hang on!
It's a bottle quake!
In country like this, rhinoceros sled is the only way to travel. Inside the bottle, the Wonder Teenies have an idea.
Jane and I will climb down that manhole to the bottom of the bottle and use our Wonder Twin powers to break out.
Once they're down there, they assume the necessary shapes.
Wonder Twin powers deactivate!
How'd I do, sis? Pretty sharp, huh?
Sharp, Zan. Real sharp.
While Gleek makes his tail into a sliding rope to get them down to the control panel, the Super Friends have found the abandoned UFO. They can tell this guy left by sled, so Superman will repurpose the damaged ship.
Using his heat vision, Superman makes 2 rocket-powered sledges.
Wonder Woman and I will search in this one.
Robin and I in the other.
And I'll search from above.
Of course, Batman and Robin blunder out onto a frozen lake, and some kind of huge sea serpent pops up to hassle them. Now what? Maybe the answer to the secret word will help.
The first clue was the price of a ride that didn't cost anything.
The second clue is in the tree next to you.
The bird. Is the bird the clue?
Not the bird itself, but what it likes to do.
Oh, I got it.
What it likes to do. Birds like to eat and poop. How does that go with free to make a secret word? Back to the story. Wonder Woman and Aquaman to the rescue.
What a monster!
We'll have to move fast.
Let's hope I can communicate with this planet's sea creatures.
Nice work, Wonder Woman.
Using his telepathic powers, Aquaman calls for the alien water creatures to come to his assistance.
That's enough to make the creature go find something else to do. Batman and Robin's vehicle sank, so all 4 of them are on the other one now. Why does it sound like George Jetson's car? Mongor says they're going the wrong way. Jaina and Zan have to do something about that. They've reached the radio microphone.
Let's hope it's powerful enough to amplify our ring signals.
It's the Wonder Twins emergency ring signal.
Have you got a fix on the twin signal, Batman?
It's coming from due east.
Up, and away!
Mongor finds them and dumps them back in the bottle, but they accomplished their task. The Super Friends are on his tail and intend to stay there. But Mongor has a few tricks of his own.
It will lead the Earthlings to their final frigid doom, and there shall be no evidence of my path.
Why hasn't he been using that the whole time? Sure enough, the Super Friends follow the decoy into a cave.
Holy crevices! Stop, quick!
Far enough!
Look!
A dry ice river.
Well, that's the end of Mongor.
And of Mid-City. And the Wonder Twins, too.
1. They never heard anybody call him Mongor. To them, he was still the UFO. 2. They really think whoever could kidnap and shrink an entire city, transport it light years in moments, and freeze Superman solid is stupid enough not to know that was there.
Wrong, Earthlings! It is the end of you! My ice ray will melt you a new door and refreeze it into solid, impregnable ice.
Expect to hear the word impregnable a lot. Everybody kind of gets stuck on it. Even Superman can't break this stuff. I'd suggest he try to punch a hole in the wall, but he wouldn't be able to hear me. May as well explore the cave.
Look, up ahead. I think it's the end of the cavern.
We made it, everyone!
Yes, but we've lost Mongor's trail.
I know water is his thing, but does he have to be such a wet blanket?
Safely out of Mongor's evil trap, Superman uses his X-ray vision to locate the lost trail.
Since they don't have any more rocket engines, I guess from here on, Superman is the vehicle. At Mongor's fortress, we finally find out why he wants the city.
Run a population analysis. We must find out if Earth is worth conquering.
The analysis will not work once the city's reduction becomes permanent. We have little time.
Are we worth conquering? What exactly are the criteria? And how can we make sure the answer comes up no?
Later, they arrive at Mongor's impregnable fortress.
The whole city's made of that impregnable alien ice.
You can't say I didn't warn you. They'll have to find a way to sneak in.
Just call him Super Drill.
Inside, they've hooked up wires, shined lights, who knows what else, and the answer is yes, Earth is worth conquering.
Then we'll beam our miniaturized invasion colony to the site of the former mid-city. Once planted, we enlarge it and our warriors to full size. They will then spread out and take over the entire Earth.
Maybe they can appoint Brain to run things and he can finally fulfill his dream.
Mongor, look! What is it?
The Super Earthling.
You mean Superman?
You will never stop Mongor, Earthling!
I'll get the bottle. Your play, Wonder Woman.
Nothing can save your planet from my army of conquerors.
Really? How about standing between you and the machine? I want to see you try to move him. He could also tickle you until you drop that bottle. There's lots of ways he can stop you.
And in just minutes, it will be too late to save your city.
What's that hum?
Over there, look.
That machine is making an endless army of ice creatures.
They're easy enough to destroy, but they keep coming. I don't know why Superman doesn't just walk over and break the nozzle off the machine.
Zan, Jaina, Bleak.
I hope everybody else in this city was hanging on to something.
You've got to stop those creatures from coming. Get inside the machine's controls. See if you can throw a monkey wrench in the works.
And now we know why Superman doesn't just go break the machine. These guys need to show off.
Yippee! The twigs that stick together, click together.
The machine's stopping.
And that takes care of the creatures.
Aquaman dumps the kids and Gleek back into the bottle. Superman grabs it, and now it's a race against time.
Meanwhile, Mongor and his city of warriors reach Earth.
In a moment, I will beam you down to where Mid-City stood.
Meanwhile, miles away, Superman streaks into Metropolis Observatory, home of the world's largest telescope.
Superman? No time to explain, but I have to borrow your reflector for a while.
If that's where they usually put it, it's not much use to them anyway.
Now to deflect Mongor's warriors to a distant asteroid where they can do no harm.
Mongor, prepare yourself for the universe's largest game of hide and seek. You're it. Go find him.
What could be wrong? That isn't the way Superman!
I'll take care of you later, Mongor. First, I must return Mid-City to its home.
With but seconds remaining, Superman beams Mid-City back to Earth.
I noticed Mongor is just standing there. You get the feeling he knows better than to try and stop Superman. For starters, the guy just punched a hole in the wall. That's the end of Mongor's dreams of conquest. He gets to go rule over his band of warriors on a barren asteroid. More power to him. I'll bet he couldn't even figure out that the code word was freezing. Before we get to the final cartoon, let's have another magic trick.
Here's a magic trick that will amaze your friends. I'll use these newspaper pages and a thin wooden board. We know that paper is easily torn.
Even thin wood is much stronger than paper usually. But these news pages can cause this board to break. You'll see. I can break the board as a result of the way I put this paper on it. Now I'll use this stick. And it breaks because of these sheets of newspaper. Tell you how and why in a few minutes.
My guess, there's a second board pre-broken hidden in the newspaper. Up in orbit around the Earth, a shuttle is approaching a space station.
Roger, Shuttle 7. All systems are go for docking procedure.
Remember, this was 4 years before Columbia launched the first time. Watching today, it's amazing how close they got to the actual design.
We have contact. Engaging locking systems. Mission control! Mission control! Emergency! Short circuit in the locking mechanism. Propulsion, communication, and breathing systems knocked out in Skylab and shuttle. We're drifting toward deep space.
Deep space is the area beyond the solar system, so you have a long way to go before you get there. Don't panic. They call the space station Skylab. It's 1977, and we stopped using the Skylab station around 1974, but who's counting? That's a fair representation of it, too. Right now, we need the Super Friends to deal with this because both vehicles only have about an hour of oxygen left.
My invisible jet should get me there in time.
Hawk Girl and I will assist in the Hawk plane.
Right, Hawkman. Let's go.
If you're a fan of Hawkman, I apologize in advance. He never made any sense to me. I couldn't figure out what his deal was, what exactly his abilities and such were, and from what I could see, he wasn't that good at superheroing.
Mission control can't possibly save us in time. We've got to repair the ship before our oxygen runs out.
I've reprogrammed the onboard computers. Let's see if this works.
If the goal was to send the station careening toward the sun, then it worked. Otherwise, no.
Wonder Woman, another explosion has just sent the two spacecraft flying into deep space. The Skylab is headed straight for the sun.
Roger, Hawkman. I'll go after the Skylab. I've got to reach it before the tremendous heat destroys it.
You should have plenty of time then. It took 4.5 months just for a probe to reach Mercury, never mind the sun. How close to Earth do they think the sun is?
We'll try to reach the space shuttle and attach our life support system.
I can't let this one slide. The space station will start to melt and everything else, and even if they were traveling at light speed, it would take 8 minutes to get there. I have a feeling most kids watching would know this and have the same issue I do. While she rescues them, the Hawk people go after the shuttle. But before they reach it, let's see about that magic trick.
Now the solution to the newspaper and board trick. Remember, I broke a piece of thin wood by using news pages in a certain way. If I just hit the board, it falls. But if I spread the news pages over the other end, the greater surface there now resists being moved through the air. It now breaks. The paper helped me to break the board. Watch for more Super Friends magic.
That's not so much magic as the physics of air pressure. Very cool. Unlike our current cartoon. I can't even bring myself to show the absurd way Wonder Woman saved the space station. Well, okay, her plane isn't strong enough to pull it away against the sun's gravity. So she...
Flying in circles at hypersonic speed, Wonder Woman creates an artificial planet with gravity.
Now, don't you wish I had spared you from that? Hawk and Hawkess have reached the shuttle, and he's going to attach their umbilical to the life support system.
Our air's running out.
Commander, look! A meteor shower! I've got to protect myself from these meteors. They're too strong. One direct hit and I'm through.
I'll try to knock the meteors away with the hawk plane.
That was anticlimactic. Both vehicles have fresh air pumping into them and everybody can breathe again.
Later, safely in Earth's orbit.
We owe you our lives, super friends. Thanks to you, we were able to make repairs and salvage the mission.
The space program owes you its thanks.
It's we who owe you thanks for paving new frontiers in space.
Even though we've been there hundreds of times and way beyond what you guys will ever be able to reach. Why don't you share the blueprints for your engine so we can advance that much quicker? I stand by what I said about Hawkman and Hawkgirl. Except for those wings that shielded Hawkman from the meteors, they didn't display any special powers or techniques. They flew up and attached an air hose. Granted, that was what was needed, but it seems to me anybody with a fast enough ship could have done it.
You know, Robin, quite often people choke on a piece of food they're eating.
Right. What can you do for them?
Well, if I were choking, you'd stand behind me, wrap your arms around my waist, then make a fist with one of your hands and put it against my abdomen with your thumb against my body, slightly below my rib cage. Grab your fist and press in and upward. You might have to press and push up more than once. Try it again. It's important to get it right. Someone's life may depend on it.
We just taught an entire generation of kids how to do the Heimlich. There have been countless stories of kids using it to save someone, too. Well done, Misters Hanna-Barbera. It had to happen eventually, a cartoon I wouldn't like. This was it. Between the dumb science and the pointless heroes, it got nowhere with me. And I'm glad, which is to say, I'm glad it was the last and shortest cartoon because that means the rest were good. We had lizard invaders, creepy kidnapper invaders, shrink ray invaders, and meteor invaders. We had Aquaman doing what he does best with Batman and Robin backing him up. The Wonder Twins got 2 chances to strut their stuff. The whole team got to try out their thermal underwear, and we learned that Hawkman and Hawkgirl are also there. Busy day. Greatest How can we make sure the answer? But come on, long way to before. But what? Both feel. Both what? Blah 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 blah.